If your team got guaranteed money, tell them call me.
Make me say, my. I done been around the world.
Yeah, I was made for this.
Player performance.
Punchy, why lose combat? Here we are, my boys. Player performance, excuse me. I call it Punchy Performance, Volume 2. UFC Fight Night in Las Vegas. Now, everyone knows UFC last week, 325. I can't even remember there. I'll go through a little recap as we can. But pay-per-views, PLEs, whatever they call them now, numbered events, always good money for that. We did hit our 100-star monster as usual. Big actually in boxing. We had Xander Zayas and Shakur Stevenson for our 100-star monster in boxing. Shakur Stevenson put on a big show. Huge night in UFC also. But these type of events, anyone that's followed me over the past couple of years or months, whatever it may be here, knows that it's these little fight night events, these little events in the Apex, these little events that not a lot of guys really realize that we perfectly sweep the card. And when I say sweep the card, I don't mean just make money. I mean top to bottom, 4, 5, 6 fights in a row that we're going to win. The way we do it exactly is the reason we're able to do it that way. We're not just throwing darts at a dartboard. We're not just picking heavy favorites. We have to be smart with how we do this, how we have the line set up, especially with a lot of this. I'm looking at the lines I have here. A lot of times, especially you guys know in combat sports, we're going to be finding lines that are high, juiced lines, minus 400s, 500s. You can't make money off that just off of, betting that normally. So, again, what we do here is we kind of actually make it so, put a parlay here, we look for a prop here. We're basically looking to exploit edges and advantages within the combat sports betting market. This is what we're going to be doing. UFC Fight Night, we got a big one this week here. We've got Mario Bautista against Vinicius Oliveira, okay, in the main event. We're going to run through that. Then we've got another one, Amir Albani. Don't kill me with these guys' names, okay? I usually kind of just run over them as best as I could in my head. But Kyoji Haraguchi, we're going to go down in the co-main event. One of my favorites. We've got Jalton Almeida going against Rizvian Kinivian, in the heavyweight division. That's going to be a big one. Then we've got John Matsumoto against Fasred Basrat. That's going to be the second fight of the night. That's a good one. I'll get into that. And then obviously we got Dustin Jacoby here going against Justin Walker. So this is a situation that, by all means, let's strap up. Let's get into it. Let's not waste any more time. Big main event here. All right, I know you guys like to start off backwards. Let's get this main event kicked off here. We've got two guys that are pretty talking about elite level fighters. Top level fighters, guys that, for all intents and purposes, deserve to be in the UFC and can obviously handle themselves. Bautista, a little bit more of a wrestler, but at the same time, this guy's very, very well-rounded. In my opinion, his stand-up's even better than his wrestling. I know some guys are kind of torn on that. Here's the trick with Mario, so to speak. He's very good at body shots. Not a lot of guys in MMA, not a lot of guys in fighting, period, can emphasize the body the way he does. He's got an extremely varied offense when it comes to stand-up. He's good at hitting the head, but he stays in that body. He's good with the leg as well. But for almost every 2 headshots, he's going to throw a body shot in there. That, over the course of a fight, especially with a guy like Vinny Oliveira, is, I don't want to say has the edge in stand-up, but if he's going to have an edge, it would be in stand-up. Those body shots, a 5-round fight, that's a situation where you kind of, again, everything I'm giving out here, no official picks or anything like that, but giving you leans, giving you my insight, giving you my insider knowledge, so to speak, when it comes to combat sports here. In a situation like this, I would probably lean Bautista. He's going to be about minus 200 on that. That line's moving already, though, in favor of Oliveira, so you do have a little pushback on that. Again, not a fight that I'd sit there and, jump on the table for. Straight up in that. This is a situation where you want to look for totals. You want to look for a situation where you have a prop. But at the same time, it's going to lead me into my total. This is my free pick for you guys. Now, 4.5 rounds is going to be the total on that. We're going to go under on that. We're looking at about minus 130, minus 140. I know I just told you a 5-round fight, all of that. These are two guys that will be standing. These are two guys that will be exchanging. These are two guys that, for all intents and purposes, especially if those body shots do wear down Oliveira, which I think they will, it's going to lead to 2 things. A little bit of a sloppy fight on the stand-up and an opportunity for a knockout, TKO, anything like that happening. Under 4.5 rounds in the main event this weekend. That's going to be my official free pick between Oliveira and Bautista, under 4.5 rounds. I'll get that officially out there for everybody also. But again, that's a situation where these guys are very high level. They know what they're doing. We're going to be looking for a situation where Those body shots start wearing Oliveira down. 5-round fight. That's a very, very long fight. And I think we're going to get in there under the 4.5 rounds. Let's move on to the co-main event. Again, don't kill me on these names here. Amir Albadzi going against Kyoji Haraguchi. The spread, we're looking about minus 340 for Haraguchi. Now, Haraguchi's an older guy. I call him a legend. I joke around with that just because he's been around for a while. But this is a guy that fights technically safe. This is a guy that's going to pick and choose his shots. He already has a game plan. He's going to stick to that game plan. He's going to punch when it's advantageous to punch. He's going to take a takedown when it's advantageous to take a takedown. Whatever he needs to do just to kind of get the fight done. When you've got as much experience as he does, that's going to be a big advantage against Amir, especially Albazzi. He doesn't have very good stand-up whatsoever. Not that Haraguchi's going to destroy him in the stand-up, but there's just not a lot of areas where I see Albazzi able to pull off the upset here. But at the same time, again, Haraguchi is a little bit of an older guy, a veteran. Minus the 340 is high for him on that. But again, I would still go with Haraguchi if we're going on that. Let's keep it back going, my friends. We're moving on to fight 3. Now, this is the heavyweights. This is the stuff I like. Jailton Almeida. He's kind of a unicorn in the heavyweight division. A guy that can fight standing up very well. A guy who's as good on the ground as there is in the combat sports betting game. Jiu-jitsu, wrestling, etc. And then we've got the old Russians. Riziem Kuniev, big heavyweight. Here's where this fight gets tricky. We're looking at about minus 145 for Jailton Almeida. We're looking about plus 110, plus 120 for Kuniev. There's a huge weight disparity here. Now, when you have a big weight disparity like that, especially at the heavyweights, because don't forget, anything over 200 pounds to 265, it's free game here. When you have a big weight disparity like that, and Almeida's bread and butter is going to be takedown. Almeida's going to like the jiu-jitsu. More importantly, Almeida's not going to have a huge advantage on the stand-up with Kuniev. Kuniev's boxing is actually extremely solid, and even worse for Almeida, Kuniev has pretty good takedown defense. I don't want to go crazy and world-class or anything like that, but this is a guy that he did very well against Curtis Blades with the takedowns. He actually defended pretty well on that. He's got very, very, very heavy hands. He's got good stand-up. All those Russians always do, and he's got a big weight advantage. Fight might be a little bit tougher than people realize, but again, Almeida has skill. This is a guy that, I know some people were sour on him, but this is a very skillful heavyweight. Again, a proverbial unicorn in the heavyweight that he could do everything. I am a little bit worried about that weight, but again, I would lean Almeida. But me personally, if I'm not giving out professional bets or anything like that, I just like Kuniev. I think he's got enough power to make Almeida stumble. I think he's got him doing the rubbery legs dance, so to speak. Again, nothing official. Professionally, I would go Almeida. If you're looking at it that way, if you're looking to put him in the leg of a parlay or something like that, I would probably, probably go with Almeida if you really kind of want to go on the safer side. But in a situation like this, my rule for betting underdogs, even outside of combat sports, was always, can they win outright? Especially if you're talking about football, basketball, not just cover the spread. I don't like betting underdogs unless I feel I can win the game outright. Do I feel that Kuniev can win this fight? 100%. And usually in a situation in combat sports, when there's a dog that I feel can win the fight and not just by some aberration or something happening, usually I'll go with the dog here. Kuniev, just one of my personal guys as well. But again, plus the 110, that's a little bit of a live dog, especially if you're looking for that plus money. Let's move on. Fight 4. This is an interesting one for me here. Now, Farid Basharat, a little bit of a favorite here. A lot of people all over him. This guy's an absolute takedown machine. Not exciting, but my God, will he take you down? He'll take you down in the middle of a supermarket. Gene Matsumoto. Now, Matsumoto's a stand-up guy. Muay Thai, very good Muay Thai. The problem with this, and we're looking at a spread about minus 250 for Basharat. He's the favorite. Matsumoto's plus the 180 on that. I'll tell you why. This shouldn't really be that big. Unfortunately for Matsumoto, he just couldn't stop a takedown if his life depended on it. Usually, guys are about averaging in the UFC about anywhere between 45% takedown defense. He's over at 55, 56% that he loses. So he's on the wrong end of that. And for a guy like Basharat, who's not going to hide what he's going to do, is going to be takedown city, so to speak, there. But at the same time, a guy like Matsumoto, he doesn't get to where he is without being able to handle himself. Meaning, his Muay Thai is very good. We're talking about elite level. We're talking about really good stand-up, extremely good stand-up. Obviously, the takedowns defense isn't there, but something with that stand-up is enough to get him to this level as it is here. Again, me personally, I would probably sit there and go Basharat. I know those guys. I know that wrestling is obviously king in UFC. If you're going to go look for a wrestler against a stand-up guy, 9 times out of 10, you're probably going to go lean to the wrestler. It's a lot easier to get control and hold the guy down than try to outstrike them when a guy's constantly trying to take you down. With Basrat, minus the 250, I probably wouldn't lay that. I probably would look to put him into something else or, look for a different angle on that. But nonetheless, I do lean towards him. But we're looking for a couple of live dogs, which I know everyone in these chats do and everyone in these videos likes to look for these dogs. Matsumoto's a dog, plus the 180 on that. Line might even move. It depends on how that line moves. You can play it accordingly. Obviously, if we get a little pushback on him, that's a situation where okay. But Matsumoto, plus the 180, live dog. Same as Kuniev up there. When these guys got stand-up, when these guys got good hands, you're always going to be a live dog, and especially against guys like Almeida, guys like Basrat, who are primarily looking to get you down. A little bit interesting. So if you're always looking for that plus money, that live dog's good. Last fight here, or the first fight of the night on the main card. Look at that, Justin Jacoby, one of my guys against Walker. Now, Jacoby's an old head, but my God, one of my favorite kickboxers in UFC. And I love elite level stand-up. This is an elite level striker. When it comes to Walker, to be honest with you, I don't know exactly what his bread and butter is. Well, I know his bread and butter is wrestling. Doesn't really look like that's enough for him to get by. This line's a little bit big also here. There's been a lot of money coming on Jacoby. Jacoby started off, I think, about minus 140, minus 150. Already we're at about the minus 170 and 180 range. By the time I'm done with this video, I'm anticipating we'll probably be about 200 there. Jacoby's one of the best strikers, I think, in UFC personally. I know the age is there. I'm not always fond of, going a little bit older with the older guys. But at the same time, Jacoby's one of those guys, an extremely skilled veteran. I love it when they have that type of quality stand-up. Again, you want to talk about elite level skills in kickboxing that transcend UFC. Jacoby's one of those guys. More than that, again, minus the 200, probably a situation where we're going to look to throw him in with somebody else and see if we could get a little advantage, make a little bit of an edge. Other than that, my friends, I know we got a couple boxing stuff going on here. I haven't delved into that. I always like to break down these whole UFC cards. Understand this, everything I'm saying here, nothing official aside from the official pick, which I'm going to give you again here. But the official pick, we're going to go with the under 4.5 rounds. Mario Batista, Vinicius Oliveira in that. We're laying about minus 130, minus 140. Now, bigger than that, how many 100-star monsters have we hit consecutively? I think we're on our fourth one. I think we're 7-1 on the year for the 100-star monsters. So believe me, I'm not just throwing those stuff out there for no reason. We have one in that I locked in last night early. One of my favorite ones I've had so far this year, meaning if I could put more than 100, I probably would have monsters on it. In any case, nonetheless, I'm locking it in. By the time you see this video, the 100-star monster will be locked in. To prove to you guys, this is a little bit different than normal, I want you to DM me. DM me the word combat right now, and I'll get you guys locked in with this monster. And when I say locked in, I mean by all means, you will point blank see why we're the baddest crew in combat sports betting when it comes to this stuff. I tell guys all the time, we do this on a high level. We do this on a level most guys in combat sport betting will never touch. Give me one opportunity to show you, and like I always tell my guys, I prove it. It's punchy. Why Lose Combat? Make sure you send me that DM on Instagram at @whylose_combat. Make sure you DM me the word combat. I'll get you locked in with the 100-star monster. And by all means, let's get it, my friends. Punchy. Why Lose Combat?
Cut my life into pieces. This is my last resort. Suffocation, no breathing. Don't give a fuck if I cut my arm.